My name is Rama Mundra. On behalf of Ahmedabad Management Association, I welcome you all. This is kind of long back, 1983. A young man decides to drop out of the college. Don't want to study anymore. Routine studies are boring for a lot of people. And he goes to Paris. And goes to Paris for what kind of career? To juggle. That's what his fascination. So he goes to Paris for juggling. And on the road, he sees a clown, a proper mime clown, जो सड़क पे नकल करने वाली, mime का exact translation नकल नहीं है, but miming clown are Paris specialty. And he sees a clown and he said, wow, this is amazing. And he goes and tells the thing, bajao. The clown looks at him and says, are you American? Me too. So here starts a friendship. And one thing I was hearing this story and I said, how people should jump on the opportunity apart from everything else. That's your first learning starts from this gentleman. So he said they spend the evening together, they juggle on the street, they meet, have dinner, and say, all right, we'll see you tomorrow then. So the clown looks at the young guy and say, actually, from 3 hours from here, there is a festival going on. So now I'm going there, I won't be able to see you. I said, what a coincidence. I'm going there too. Let's go together. He never heard of this festival before. He had heard that it's that minute and decided to jump in the wagon and say, all right, let's go. And that's where this started a story of a person who became story consultant to begin with and created one of the biggest extravaganza show called Cirque du Soleil. Circus without animals, people disguised as animals, and the amazing, amazing part about Cirque du Soleil is that every show is different from others. They customize it for the countries. So 2006, I was in Australia, and one of my friends in Sydney, we were talking, sitting in his home, and say, Acha, you got to go to Canberra. I said, that's not on my list. That's only Australian city which doesn't have a beach. And it's any other city. I said, Canberra is not on my list of traveling. He said, you have to go. And that time with so much of that kind of look, he said, India doesn't have a Cirque du Soleil show, we do. So when I heard that is happening in Mumbai, I texted him and said, we do have Cirque du Soleil now. So I flew from Sydney to Canberra, spent a night in hotel to watch this show. And you should actually go and YouTube it, and you would be amazed the way the whole human body is transformed in a different state and the way it is done. It's amazing. And again, as always, I have a big CV, which I'm not going to read out to you. And sorry for that. I think your work, and when you talk, that will be the exact introduction thing. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Stefan Haves. And Sunil Bhai, can I invite you to give our amazing, amazing guest a bouquet of flowers today?
All right, you're going to give me flowers now? Yes. And I just met him. Wow.
If you don't make a success of this program, I'm going to take them back.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Welcome, and
Thank you very much, sir. You want to come in? Let's take a picture of the three of us. Hey, buddy.
Bye.
Come on.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here right here. And you can be anywhere you want.
Okay, I can be anywhere I want. I'll be right here. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm good.
Good. So, just to let you know, I teach, I direct, I do circus. And I do something which is kind of a dying art form for the younger ones in the room, and that's something is called theater. Okay. How many kids have been to the theater? Raise your hands. Do you like it? Yeah. Yes, I think it's good. Yeah, I think theater's really good, thanks. When my friend is in it, I like it. Okay. So, but theater is a hard road today because we're competing with this, right? So we're competing with this. And if you're a younger person, you like to do a lot of things at once. So if I'm going to sit down right here and listen to one person talk for an hour, that's really going to bore me. I have a 28-year-old daughter, and I went to stay with her and her friends. They watch a movie while this screen's on, while they're talking to their friends and seeing 4 different things here and watching a movie there. And they're all sitting next to each other doing that. How does theater compete with that? I have the answer. And that's part of what we're looking at today. Because what we're looking at today is, what is creativity? What is innovation today? Okay? Part of that creativity and innovation has to do with actually harnessing the energy of younger people. Okay? Harnessing the energy of younger people. You know, we have spent a lot of time saying, do it our way, help us, you gotta learn what theater's about. But now we have a whole new generation of people where the internet and everything has uniquely changed everything. So, my job is to make it fun. How do I make theater amazing again? There was a reason that Cirque du Soleil was amazing for you. And that was because Cirque du Soleil had people up in the air, so there was peril. But they also had storylines with people dressed up like dragons and ghouls and goblins. And they also had beautiful music and beautiful costumes. And then you saw it, and you're like looking at it, and you're going, this is like my dreams. I am looking at my dream right now. It is extraordinary. So that is what Cirque du Soleil gave people on the first one. It was like, and they also were able to, in terms of Blue Sea, they were able to find something. They didn't just do old circus for kids with animals. They found their own niche. They found their own brand, and they did their own research and development for that. No one competed with them. It was extraordinary. So what do we have to do to get the kids back into the theater? One thing is to make it immersive. For me to not just stay on stage, but to actually go towards this one gentleman with the red collared shirt. To get closer and closer and closer. Now, all of a sudden, you're not bored, sir, are you? It's not boring, is it? No. So that tension, if I just stayed on the stage, there would be no tension. So the thing that circus does that other theater doesn't is I am breaking the fourth wall. Okay, right in front of me is a fourth wall. And that keeps you safe. But when I break it and I start walking this way, that's what a clown does. And then all of a sudden, it's way more fun. It's way more fun. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Come on. Okay, good. So the tension of I have an objective, I want her to kiss me. She gets to now have free reign if she's going to or not. But look at this beautiful face. That is one of you on stage. She is dynamic. She has a choice, and there is tension in that moment. Now, if we were to follow through on it, which we won't because I just want to show it to you, as she went for the kiss at the cheek, I would move my face, go. I would have given a big kiss right there, and everybody would have gone, oh my gosh, and then she would have sat down. So she can sit down right now. Good. She's like, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh boy. So it's so fun to, so there's this X factor. There's kind of a little scary tension if in the circus that isn't in regular theater. Regular theater, this fourth wall makes it very safe. But the second the clown goes down to here, wow. Wow. That tension, that silence just created is what we love in the theater. That is more scary than the scariest movie you've ever seen, because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen next. So creating tension is the only thing that theater can do that your computer can't do. Because it is a public assembly. This is, I tell my young students, this, you will have work the rest of your life, because the more we and put a bubble around us, the more we're going to have to sometimes go and take a risk to be with people. I'm sorry, be with people. What a concept, you know? And the actual, you can't just flick me away. You can't just flick me away. This is real. It's like if I said to you guys, hi, everybody, how you doing? Okay, good. So, see, this is not a screen. I really asked you guys how you were. So, hi, everybody, how you doing? Okay, 3 people over here, nobody over here. See, I'm looking at, is this a dialogue right now? Or do you think I am going to perform for you like I'm a screen on a telephone? Because I'm not. I am actually wanting to communicate with you. So, communication. Now we're moving into the area that I wanted to talk about, okay? Hey everybody, how you doing? Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? Is everybody okay? All right. Okay, you're still only at about 30%, but that's okay. Okay, I'm still gauging it. I'm not saying, all right, you did great. No, you didn't. You were only at about 30%. There's a lot of people in here, and it was like, hey, you okay? Yeah. You okay? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, but okay. I know, right? So communication. I've been in India. This is my 3rd trip here. I've worked at IITs, IIMs, I've been with CEOs, I've been all over. And so what's interesting to me is people want to talk about creativity and they want to talk about innovation. I want to talk about something else, because there's something going on here in India. We're really good at knowing what this instrument is all about. But there's another instrument which is neglected, and that's something called the human instrument, okay? This is neglected, okay? And I'm going to show you exactly why and how it is neglected today. I'm going to ask you some questions. And they seem like they'd be the easiest questions to answer, but actually, you aren't going to know the answer. And if you do, I'm going to be totally amazed. But what I've seen so far is people don't know the answer. part of your culture here. I love India. I love your culture. I am humbled by your culture. And there's a few reasons. There's two in particular. One, your devotion to family. I absolutely adore your devotion to family. That is a beautiful thing. You know, I was walking in Ahmedabad about 5 years ago, and I'm walking, and I'm the only Westerner there, and I'm walking down this road, and there's these two kids in the, they're in the sewage, and there's blue tarps behind them, and they aren't running up to me asking me for money. They are so happy. These kids were playing, and they were so happy. And meanwhile, I'm a little depressed because I'm alone. I mean, I've got money in my pocket. My SIM card is working in my phone, but I'm feeling a little bit lonely. And I just see these two kids playing. And they didn't run over to me asking me for money, and I stop and I look at them, and then I look behind them, and their father and their uncle are playing cards over there. And their mom, grandmother, and aunt, they're doing laundry over here. They had so much security based on their own family. And I realized in that moment, I don't feel sorry for them. They should feel sorry for me. Spiritually and as a family, those people have everything they need. And I don't. I'm a divorced man from the United States. My daughter lives on the other coast in New York. I'm from Los Angeles. And so this little lesson of what family is was a beautiful thing for me. The other thing that I would say about India is you're hard workers. I see people working really hard. Do we have any hard workers in the audience? Raise your hand. Okay, this is a problem. This is a problem. That you guys, there is a sense of arrogance if you say you're a hard worker. And the other thing, there's a feeling of perfectionism where it's like you are like, yes, I'm at 84%, but I should be at 92%. It would be better. You know, I can always be better. Or you say, oh, yes, I work hard, but I need to work smart. I don't work smart enough. So, the problem that I just saw in this moment was something which is the crux of what I'm talking to you guys about right now. And that's, what makes you not share that? What makes you not say, yeah, I work hard, 18 hours a day. I am coding 18 hours a day. I am selling things every day for 14 hours. I'm only sleeping 5 hours a day. Now, in America, if I said, are you hard workers? Americans would go, yeah, I work hard. Yeah, I did something for 2 hours and then I napped. So, so this is what you have in America. You have this kind of sense of entitled, like, enthusiasm about how great they are, but they don't work as hard. The actual evidence is clear that you in this country work harder in terms of hours than we do. However, when somebody from the West comes to your country and asks, do we have any hard workers here? You guys don't raise your hand and say, yes, I work hard. So, part of the reason is culture. I'm an outsider. I'm kind of, you want to be respectful of me, even if you're my age or older. You want to be respectful. And that can be manifested in something called shyness. I'm shy because I don't want to share. And I would say to you, my friends, I would submit to you that shy is selfish. You are being selfish when you're shy. Because when you're shy, you're withholding. You are not sharing your spirit, your humor, your knowledge, your grace, and you are so afraid of failing publicly that you miss opportunities. Well, I didn't say anything, but okay, good. At the IIT where I just was, 100 kids from the IIT, I say, I'm Bill Gates. I'm coming to every IIT because you're the smartest people in the world. My helicopter just landed at the IIT. I'm coming in for 2 minutes to your IIT right now. Bill Gates walks in. He walks in, he looks at everybody and he says, hi, I'm Bill Gates. I work in Silicon Valley, Microsoft. I work in Seattle. Does anybody have any questions for me? Does anybody have any questions for me? You know how many people raised their hands? None. One time, one person raised their hand and he asked me a question and I looked at him and I said, you're hired. I said, you're hired. Why did I say you're hired? Because you are under the misconception that Bill Gates wants to hire you because you're smart. He knows you're smart. You gave up your childhood to get into IIT. You are the smartest people on the planet. But what Bill Gates really wants is courage. Courage to engage someone who might be of a different status, who you can actually share your feelings with him. He wants to see that you feel. He wants to see that you're passionate. He wants to see what makes you happy. So you can sit all you want and say, oh, the robots and AI are going to take over. Or you can start engaging people emotionally. Because if you do that, that's who is going to be the pioneers of tomorrow, okay? So, like for instance, sir, what's your name? Okay, did you guys hear him? No, you didn't. None of us heard you. Get up for a second, come on over here, good. Let's give him a hand, huh? Look, he's coming up. Man, those shorts are awesome. Were you near a nuclear power plant? That's like, whoa. Okay, what's your name again? And we're going to use the microphone to help you, okay?
My name is Rahul.
All right, great to meet you. Great. And can you tell me, how do you make your voice louder?
With a bit of confidence, like, mostly.
With a bit of confidence. Mostly. This is the problem, and I don't disparage you, and I do not tease you, my friend, but I want you to understand that, and because I've heard it a lot, you're taught, if I have confidence, then I'm going to be okay. But what are the steps to learn confidence? What do you think they are? And it's okay to say, I don't know.
Yeah, basically, I don't know.
Okay, basically, awesome. Okay, good. So he doesn't know. So this guy doesn't know how to be confident. So remember when I said this instrument, everybody knows, are you pretty good? Like if I can't do something, can you help me with this? Mostly, yeah, you can. Right. If you're here in front of here, do you know how to make your voice louder?
Yes.
With the microphone is one way, but if you didn't do it with the microphone, how would you do it? What do you think, sir? How do you think you make a voice louder?
By speaking up.
Okay, he said the exact same thing I said. How do you make your voice louder? By speaking up. But that technically doesn't help me to find what I do. What do I do? Like it's like this instrument is out of your like studies. It's like, because it's a one-word answer, to tell you the truth, and it's when I say it, you guys are going to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe we didn't know that. What do you think, sir? What's a way to make your voice louder?
With action.
With action? Let's see. Hello. No, that's still low.
Shout.
How do I shout?
Shout loudly.
Okay, he said with confidence. See, we're brainwashed by that C word. But that C word, he said, the way he said confidence here, he said confidence like this. Confidence. He didn't say, confidence. Confidence, sir. I have confidence. I don't even need a microphone for this confidence. I can look at everybody on this side and don't look at my back. Okay, so confidence. Now, I will teach techniques like you teach me how to get an app. I will teach you how to do this. But you're going to have to actually go back in time to when you were a child, because if you guys were all about 9 years old, this wouldn't be a problem. We were all perfect. We were all perfect performers. We were all perfect actors. We were all perfect humans understanding this human form before puberty. Before puberty. And then everything stopped. It's like, it just happened. And then the rest of your life, you are trying to heal from that time. I remember when I was about 10 or 11 years old, and I'm standing with a couple of friends, and I didn't reach puberty yet. I was late. Because I was younger, and my friends were tall, and they played basketball, and they started to have stupid little mustaches, and they talked like this. And I was like this, hey, how are ya? I was like that. Okay, so, and the girls are like this, and they used to be like this, and now they're like this. Okay, so everybody's changing, right? And so I'm with my friends in a park, and I say to my friends, hey, you want to go on the boat over there? Let's play on the boat. And they said to me, yeah, Stefan, let's play on the boat. That's a good idea. And I said, okay, great. And I started to run, and I turned around, and they were laughing at me. And I took a deep breath, my friend, and I said, I'm never going to play on a boat again. My time of playing is over. And then I got through 13, 14, 15. Thank God I started doing theater when I was 16, 17, 18. And then I continued, and now this is my commerce doing this. This is what I do, and I don't teach you anything. That's what's different about a lecturer and what I'm doing. I am not going to teach you anything, sir. I'm just here to remind you of when you were free. Because right now we are constrained by voices in our brains that want to be perfect. And those perfection loses out on opportunity. I'm not afraid of failure. I chase failure. I want failure publicly. I want to say the wrong thing, because when you say the wrong thing, sometimes that wrong thing is outside the box and people think you're a genius. But all I said was wrong thing, right? Because that little voice came out. That little voice came out, and he knows better than this, okay? Thank God the women are in the workforce now more and more, because now it's not only about the mental architecture, but we're bringing in flow and we're bringing in intuition. It's not about the bottom line anymore. It's how do we treat each other while we go for the bottom line. That's important too. And that intuition is really there, okay? So I'm going to go back to my first thing, which is how do we make our voice louder? Okay? How do you make your voice louder? Does anybody have an idea? You, sir, do you know?
By speaking loudly and convincingly.
Okay, speaking loudly and convincingly. Once again, my friend here said kind of the same thing I said with different vocabulary. Yes, ma'am?
After confidence is another C, clarity.
Clarity. unfortunately, and thank you so much for that, however, these are results. These are results, they are not process. The process of getting to confidence is what an acting coach does. Boom. I don't care. I hope you are clear and I hope you are confident, but how we get there is what's interesting to me. Yes, sir, on the end. Your belly. What organ in your belly are we talking about? Is it the food belly? It's actually more scientific and biologic than that, but thank you. It's not, oh, I ate some good dal and now I'm confident. No, but it is down there, and it is something that we will call the lungs. The lungs. Okay. And you do it, dude. You do it. You know how you do it? You know how you do it? If you were playing, you ever play soccer?
Yes.
Okay, good. If you were near the goal here, and you were alone, and your friend had the ball over there, here's what he would do. He'd do something like this. Watch. Hey! Did you see that inhale? Hey! Wow, that's an inhale. So what I say to you, my friend, is if you say your name after an inhale, then you actually will be louder. Now, what prevents him from doing this is something called adrenaline. Now, part of that adrenaline is what makes him not be loud enough, okay? Now, the adrenaline comes from possible public humiliation. Possible public humiliation. You may say the wrong thing, my friend. And then if you say the wrong thing, then you are going to be teased. Okay? So instead of saying that, so what we have to do is, as an acting coach, I'm addicted to possible public humiliation. I want to see am I going to be able to be okay? Am I going to survive this? Yes, I am. Am I coming up with new ideas? Yes, I am. But that's because I am not looking, the lens is not on myself, folks. I'm not looking at my bald spot. I'm not looking at my wrinkles. I'm looking at you and seeing that you're enjoying it, and you're enjoying it, and you're enjoying it, and you're communicating, and I'm communicating it. And so you guys are with me right now. So I am of service. And when you are of service, you are not nervous. Okay? When you're of service, you're not nervous. So I am trying to get my friend here to actually be a public speaker in this little time. So you're going to stand here, my friend. Yeah. Okay? You're great, man. I'm going to stand in the back there, and I'm going to ask him what his name is. He's going to inhale and then say his name. That's all he has to do is inhale and say his name. Okay? What is your name, sir?
Rahul.
Nice to meet you, Raul.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Wow, you have such a resonant voice. You have a lot of courage, and you have a strong sense of character.
Yeah, what should I answer?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, that was it. It was thank you. That's what, I don't know, what should I say, but did I say thank you? Because I feel like thank you, but no. Now, I'm going to give him one more technique, okay? Because that was so good, man. Did you see how you flattened the room? The room was in your hand. It was amazing, okay? So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it again, and this time you're going to wait 3 seconds, then inhale, then say your name. And then when I ask you things, you're going to wait another 3 seconds and then say your name. Now, how old are you?
17.
17. So person my age, 3 seconds, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. For a 17-year-old is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's okay though. His will be half as long as mine, but we'll see how it goes. Okay? You ready to do it? Yeah. You're doing great. I gotta tell you, amazing. Look, and do you see how what I'm doing right now to say I'm on your team doing this? I'm not judging and trying to test him. I'm saying we're doing this together. And actually, you're my equal in this moment. You're not someone who's trying to do something right or wrong to me. Like you said, what do I say? You know what to say. You knew what to say thank you, because I gave you a compliment, right? All right, good. Let's try it one more time. Okay. Hey, what's your name?
Rahul.
Raul. Where do you live, Raul?
I live in Ahmedabad.
Ah. Are you a good student?
Kind of.
Are you a good person?
Yes.
I believe you are, sir. What do you like to do? What's your favorite hobby?
Sketching.
You're an artist? Wait. 1, 2, 3.
Designer.
Wow. So do you spend a lot of time drawing? 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
I would like to see your sketches sometime.
Sure.
Okay, let's give him a hand. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. So in that moment, he wasn't 17. He was a man with passion. And he was at the beginning of his life of passion. And that's what we want, okay? Thank you. You can sit down. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. We're gonna go into questions. Okay. I just want to follow. Okay. So this is 1/4 of the techniques that I will go into. Right now, I only have you for an hour, but if I were to do workshops, I would work with voice, and that's one of the 4. And the 4 are body, voice, speech, and imagination. Body, voice, speech, and imagination. When you're on the spot and adrenaline is starting to go like this, these things don't work well. It's like if I've had people on stage with me and he like a kid comes up and I go, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Rajiv." And I'm like, "What?" And he looks at the audience like, he didn't understand me? What's his problem? But his problem is that he is not being an ambassador, a global ambassador of India. He is not making his name clear to me so I can have a conversation with how the phonetics are different in the United States as they are here. It's like there was one kid in my class just yesterday, the day before yesterday, and his name was Naveen, I think. And I kept saying Naveen. And everybody in the room's like, no, Naveen. And I go, Naveen. Oh, I have to change that E to an E. Oh, so speech becomes an interesting game between cultures. Body, voice, speech, and imagination. Okay? My friend did a beautiful job about voice. Speech is the tongue, the teeth, the lips, the throat, the nose. Okay? You have to make those things work. Okay? Voice is the lungs. Body is if I asked her to come on stage like she did, and she's like, you can feel the tension in her body. And so my job in that moment, if I were to work with her, is how can I make her more relaxed? How can I make the body not be tense? So there's body, voice, speech. And this is all the engine of this is something called imagination. Now, my evidence is that when I ask about imagination, people in India, that's not a word that's used a lot. confidence is used a lot, clarity is used a lot, but the concept of imagination, and it goes back to that kid who was in the park who wanted to go play at the boat, okay? It's almost like we don't want to elicit our imagination, but, you know, pretty great thinkers like Einstein said imagination is the most important cornerstone of his work. Imagination's fun. You used to play. Like that was our job before the age of 10, is to play with your friends. And you played with your friends with full support. So imagination is an incredible tool to make creativity and innovation work, but creativity and innovation don't mean anything if I can't communicate it with the passion of emotion. What good is my creativity? I have an idea that's way outside the box. But you're stuck in your box, my friend. How can you tell me about an out-of-the-box idea if your box isn't free to, boom, it's outside of the box. I want to tell you, this is the idea of the century, my friend. How do I do that? Body, voice, speech, and imagination. I'm not going to spend so much time with this. I'm going to be spending some time with my communication skills. And that, my friend, is what I want to impart to you, is that if you want to be creative and if you want to be innovative, work on your communication. The final thing I will say before we have some questions is, this is one of those questions like, how do you make your voice louder? That seems like it's easy, but it's not. Where do you think emotions come from? Where do emotions come from?
It's natural.
It's natural, okay. But what is the portal through which we feel different emotions? What is that portal? What do you think?
Imagination.
Yeah, but what is the portal that imagination, which sparks, which ignites it? No, mind. It's very funny that he said mind, because it's different. A lot of people would say the mind. Some people would say the heart. But actually, it's neither of those. It's neither of those. Language? No, because the sensory input has to happen first so the language can describe it. See, do you see how we're all going for the results? And what I'm going for is the process to get there. Yes, sir. Yes? Yes, but how do we get it from there to here? How do I get it to here? Yes. What? Okay. I'm going to tell you what my answer is, and the cool thing about the arts is I'm not here to tell you right or wrong. I am not right, you're not wrong. In the arts, it's your interpretation versus my interpretation. The only difference between your interpretation and my interpretation is preference. However, I have some wisdom. And you know what my wisdom is? I have simply made more mistakes than you have. And I've seen people make more mistakes than you have seen people make mistakes. But if I see 10 people make mistakes, and you do the exact same thing that they did, and the audience goes crazy for what you did, I will applaud you for shattering my belief that that is not the way to do it. So you innovate the arts every day. When I'm with young people, I'm saying, what entertains you? Because ultimately, you're the ones who are going to actually pay for things. You're actually the ones who are going to actually pay for things. So if I can harness what young people like, then I'm in your court, as opposed to me being an old guy going, this is what I did back in 1991, da-da-da-da-da. I'm saying, what do you do? So The final thing I'll say is emotions come from the senses. The senses. Sensory. Like you, sir, if you listen to a piece of music from your past and it reminds you of your grandmother or it reminds you of your mother, if you smell a perfume or an incense that reminds you of maybe a funeral you were at, and you see a car accident and you see exactly what happened, that's when I feel stuff, is through the emotions. That's when I feel, okay? But I have to, so sir, you may be right about what that brain part is called, but from that brain part, it is the senses, and I can actually work those senses to be more passionate about what I pitch, or what I'm talking about, or why I need a certain something is because I start to feel something about it, and then you think I'm passionate. But I have to be aware of the body, mind, speech, and imagination, and I have to realize that it is through the senses that you look at me and say, he is a passionate man. So that's my little speech for today. I want to thank you, and I will bow right now. Thank you so much. And now we have a little time for some questions. And, oh, yes, I'm so glad you asked. Oh, okay. No problem.
Okay, I didn't realize I'm loud enough without the mic, actually. I've been doing it for 26 years. So, one, we will not make it a monologue. If you have a question and you get the answer from the speaker once, we move on to another question. The idea is more people should, sir, I saw you and I'll come back to you. The idea is as many people can ask questions, right? So we'll try not to make it monologue and try refraining questions from what is your difference from India and America and those kind of question. If we can look at his journey, his interest, and how he built Cirque du Soleil, which is going to be my question actually, and his book Cirque, which is going to be soon in our hands. So any question related to that would be great.
All right, good.
Sir, you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I've seen the Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas a couple of years ago, and it was an amazing experience. I have two questions. One is that how come you guys don't have any competitors in your book?
We don't have any competitors?
Yeah, I have not seen any competitor to the level of Cirque du Soleil. Number one, and number two, I heard that you're going to be coming to India now.
That's right.
They are coming to India in Mumbai, show named Bazaar, and let him answer the first question.
Good question. The reason my talk doesn't, how many people have seen Cirque du Soleil? Raise your hands. Right, that's about how much it usually is. So that's why I wait for now to talk about it, because sometimes I talk about it for a while and I see some people going, they need to, it's such an experience and visceral experience that, so good couple of questions. The first one has to do with, if you were to break them down, you had two different ones. The first one was that how come we don't have any competition? We actually, the thing that happened with Cirque is this was a company that was just a bunch of stilt-walking street performers 30, 35 years ago. And one of them was a very good businessman. And what he did was he talked to the city of Montreal, and they were having an anniversary, and they said, we'll give you a tent. And so he put the show together. A man from Los Angeles, Robert Fitzpatrick, saw that show and brought Cirque du Soleil to Los Angeles. This was what vaulted them into the big time. Now, they had so little money that they only paid their actors one-way tickets to Los Angeles because they didn't have enough to pay round trip. They said, once we pay for the tickets, we'll give you guys more. But the first team that was there was a group of people, Franco Dragon, Dominique Lemieux, Robert, and there were 4 people, and there was the director, the costumer, the music guy, okay? And the best acts in the world. And so what you had was you had a beautiful combination of people that made, they said, we don't care about children. Circus isn't about children for us. Circus for us is about the most beautiful, opulent theater that we can do with circus acts and without animals. So they found their own niche. The thing is, what happened was they started to be so popular that they had so much money that their own research and development was so much better than everybody else that the other ones were littler provincial circuses, which actually were like very good, but they didn't have the resources. It was really about Cirque du Soleil having the resources. When I was doing the show called Kooza, which actually has the backdrop is from India, and it's a beautiful show, and you can see it online, Kooza. And I directed the clowns in it, and there's a pickpocket, and I did all kinds of things for that. But the thing that Kooza did was, that was one which had a real point of view. There was a real point of view. So you had creators who had integrity as creators. They also hired the most innovative directors in the world. So, and each show has a different theme. The one that we're going to see here, Bazaar, is Indian theme. Okay. So in Las Vegas there are 5 different shows. One is a Cirque show, like what you would see as a Cirque show. It's beautiful. It's called Mystère. Then there's Ka, that is like martial arts, but it's also, you can see there's a battlefield, an Asian battlefield, where the stage goes from here to here, and now it's bird's eye view with everybody locked in, and there's fight going on. So it's almost like a camera went like from here to here. And that cost tens of millions of dollars to do. There was the Elvis show. There's a Ka show, which is a water show. And that was all done by a man named Franco Dragon. Franco Dragon is the person that made Cirque du Soleil, because of his vision. And the other thing about research and development, when we were doing Kooza, you would say, oh, wouldn't it be great to have a shoe that's 30 feet long that we bring everybody in a shoe, and in about 2 weeks you'd get a big prototype shoe. I mean, that's the kind of resources they had.
Wow. Gentleman there, your question? Yeah, go ahead. Sir, do you mind standing, please? Thank you so much.
Yes. Right. Well, maybe. Okay, because emotions aren't only about memories. Emotions are about, I'm hungry, feed me. Hey, I'm cold. Oh, you're tickling me. Ha, 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 ha. So a child has emotions in the here and now. And then as he gets older and things happen to him, then trauma can happen, and then they can remember things. But in the beginning, it's just those innate feelings that we have as humans. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, since you are from the creative field, so I just want to ask you that creativity is a God gift or any person can develop?
Wow.
We were all perfect at creativity before puberty. When you were playing with your friends and you made a hat or pretended something, and your friends go, yeah, good going, high five, yeah, okay, let's do that again. That is creativity. We all have, now the question is, am I going to stifle my own creativity because of my perfectionism, or am I going to actually embrace my creativity, and possibly have a public failure. Possibly have a public failure. I was on 2 creation teams for Cirque du Soleil, Cusa, which is still playing and has been playing for 15 years. I also did a show in New York called Banana Spiel, which was a disaster, and it only lasted a year. So Cirque du Soleil has big failures, but they fail big and loud, and then they do something else. But does the failure bring you down, or do you learn from the failure and move on? That's the question.
Friends, I know you have a lot of questions, but I'm getting signal from the AMA administration constantly because we'll have this hall to something. But please don't worry, what we'll do, Mr. Amurthy, can we have the speaker for 5 minutes off the mic where we finish the program and he can still meet people? Is that okay? We can do that?
Yeah, I'll do selfies and stuff like that too.
Right. So what we do, friends, we will finish the program, but you're welcome to meet him and click pictures and think. Let's do that. But before we think, I don't know, in India, we do say thanks a lot of times, unlike what is believed. We are not as vocal in terms of saying thanks as rest of the globe is. But this was a treat. For me, it's an honor today here, because when I've watched the show in 2006, that time it was the same thing. I was like, I never ever thought that I'll stand with you someday and get a picture with you. It's amazing.
And the beautiful thing, thank you. And the
And,
beautiful thing about it is it is just 6 to 10 people just like you, just taking the risk. That's all it is.
Thank you so much. And his book is going to be launched soon, if I'm not mistaken, Cirque.
Yes.
And we're so looking forward to it.
And you can get my website, www.stefanhaves.com, and look at my movies and things on YouTube.
Perfect. May I request our treasurer, Devesh Radia, to come and present him a small gift, please?
Please, sir. You made my day.
Oh, good, I'm so glad.
Thank you so much. Thank you on behalf of AMA and all of you. And